What's up guys, welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with a Mindstorm. His castle level is 30 or above. I didn't actually check it, so he's just got me boosted to level 30. So, you know, it can be anywhere from 30 to 32. Most likely. Alright, so we got an IMAX, Defendatron up here. That's actually interesting how you delayed the Defendatron there. I don't know if you did that on purpose or if it just sort of happened like that, but I kind of find that interesting. You basically had it linking to something up here, and then it relinked as soon as, you know, I guess it was the Cyclops that it was linked to previously. It's pretty interesting. Alright. In terms of improvement, like the only thing that I could say about that last group there is you had two archers and one of those Cyclopses. When those Cyclops get up to this level, in my opinion, it might be different when I actually level up to this point, but in my opinion, the Cyclopses with a Defendatron are much better than, like, say, two archers. Like, you could cut one of your archers out, or both of them or something, and then you'd have to add in, you know, some sort of, like, a bad dog or a puppeteer. Because you'd have 3 points left over, right? You get 8 points from subtracting both of your archers, and then 5 for a Defendatron and 3 for either a bad dog or a puppeteer. And maybe it won't be better, but I have more trouble dealing with Cyclopses at that level than, you know, archers. Archers are pretty easy to dodge, in my opinion. Unless you do something to make their shots hit. That's interesting. Unfortunately, like, the Vamps are okay. I don't actually hate those Vamps, but the problem is I think they're a little high on the point count for what they do, like their damage and stuff. The elite version of them. The regular ones I still think they're just too weak because they die in one volley, which makes them really easy to be killed. Alright, that was pretty cool thing that you did there with the Defendatron. I have to let this guy come towards me a little bit. Luckily, Pete Bombers are pretty fast, so it's not a huge deal. Alright. Yeah, the same thing here, like, if you have a Defendatron, like, what I would do for you, I don't know if you've ever done it before, if you've ever done the group that I'm talking about, but I would just take one of these groups and just switch it out for a couple of days. Like, you could even switch out the Hungerbot instead of the archers if you wanted to, and just put in a Defendatron with, you know, some other type of support, and see how that works for you, because it's so much harder to deal with a Cyclops when you have to be getting close and trying to, like, juke around this enormous range that the Cyclops has while trying to kill the Defendatron. I have a lot more trouble with that personally, so that's the only reason I'm saying it. Because they still die in, you know, maybe 4 auto attacks and like 1 to 2 headshots from an archer. So when you add a Defendatron that takes, you know, maybe 2 to 3 times more damage than a Cyclops, it really adds a lot to their survivability. This is going to be a really hard group. Oh man. If that was leveled up to 30, I would have died right there. I'm pretty sure. With me being like technically level 30 right now, the Jimbo's getting, you know, a 20% reduction on their damage or something around that. I'm actually not sure why you upped me to level 30 for this castle. I guess, I don't know, because you have mostly level 28 stuff. I just used another potion. I'm not sure if I needed to. I thought I was gonna get hit by the Cyclops, but I didn't. Yeah, you can see how this is very difficult for me because I have to constantly be juking around the Cyclops. Whereas against the archer groups, I just drop a volley and kill off the Cyclops by itself. Alright, I should be able to come close to killing this before it gets to me. Yeah, there we go. That's just because your Mega Mutton was the one leading this group. It's also 4 levels under me technically right now. Another good use of Defendatron right there. I have to pull back to a previous room to kill the Jimbo. I don't really care about this guy though, I can just kind of come in this room now. Alright. Alright, what do we got for the boss room? Scorpio, Hungerbot, Zeke with a Defendatron. Alright, I think I just go for the Scorpio at first. I would actually have either your Scorpio back farther or your Zeke up farther, because you noticed even though I took a shot there, the Zeke was so far away he couldn't get his shot off. He should have at least landed 2 arrows probably off of that, which would have been like 2,000 damage. But yeah, pretty good castle. I definitely wouldn't have made it in the time frame, you know, 840. Your timer's obviously under that. And most of the mobs that I was facing I was over leveled on as well, so definitely good at time wasting. Pretty good at making you use potions as well. I think a couple of those groups you had that were like really easy to volley, you could probably switch some things out and make it a little bit more difficult for archers to get through. But with that, we will jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Stefan. Castle level's only a 10, so we'll just run through it really quick. See if there's any improvements that I can notice that you could make. But really, at these low levels, there's not all that many options for you to do in terms of defending. Like, just for in the future, these rooms specifically that have 2 different directions that the hero can go, it's really difficult for you to predict which way, to predict what the player is going to do, because everybody's different. So a lot of people tend to not use rooms with multiple directions and stick to the ones that only have one. For that reason alone. You know, these things as well. Yeah, this is good, but these springboard traps, most people will eventually learn what they do. Like, at your level, people might not know what they do, but this is a pretty big tell. Like, no one's going to step on this and get thrown. And even with it being here, it's not going to do all that much. Actually, for this group specifically, this trap is hindering you, because what you want is these two bone puppeteers to be constantly resurrecting people. But if I actually hit this, I get thrown right next to the bone puppeteers, and I'm closer to them, so I can ignore them, ignore the derps, and go after them, you know? So I would actually remove that and do some sort of a damage dealing, like a rotating fire trap or something. Alright, Dr. Skull is good at your level. Eventually you'll have to switch him out because people will get better AoEs like that cleave that I did there. Alright. Now this is one thing that I would say is you have this group here, and the group comes in at different times. Like, I can probably understand what you're going for, is you want them to be fighting this, and then this guy comes off screen and pushes them into the mouse wheel trap or something like that. But the problem is you have 12 points here and 6 points here. What I would do is, like, pull both of them through the wall or something. You know, have a snotter and pull both of them through the wall, because you don't want them to be fighting 12 points, kill it, and then 6 points to show up afterwards. It's not going to be as strong that way. You want to have the bulk of your group all arrive at the same time. Again, with this you know, springboard trap, I would just switch it out for something different. They're just really not all that usable at this point. Previously, you would use them with Hungerbots and Scorpios to pull them over the springboard trap and set it up for another group. But right now, there's not much we can do. Alright, and then you have pre-made boss. But I will 3-hit. But yeah, I mean, pretty good castle for your level. There's not all that many options. I would just switch out, you know, those traps like I said, and it'll be doing about as good as it can for you at your level. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, lastly we have Wardis. Castle level is 23. What room is this? I'm kind of confused. I can't believe I missed that Jimbo. I do like the acid traps. They're a little bit easy to dodge, even though I didn't right there. They have a pretty small range, so that's the only downside to them. But I think they're interesting, and they could be used for, you know, some interesting combos where you want to limit someone's DPS, or you want to one-shot someone with a Jimbo or something like that. Alright, level 20 Scorpios are pretty easy for me to kill these days. Nothing wrong with the group itself, though. Just me being overpowered. I don't remember, was the Defendatron? I think the Defendatron was on the Mega Mutton. I feel like if you have some sort of... if you have a support with this, your Defendatron should always be on the support. Because Mega Muttons aren't really good units by themselves. They're only good after they're starting to charge. So you want them to take some damage, and then you want to, like, sustain that damage with a heal, or give him a... give him a attack speed buff so he charges quicker, and, you know, it doesn't have the longer charge up, that little animation that he has that's quicker and stuff like that, to catch people off guard. So generally you want to have a 3-point support with him, and then the Defendatron to guard the 3-point support. Usually is the best way to do it. That was probably one of the more neat ways that I saw of doing that. You kind of had it so I could engage this, and it almost looked like it was pulling through this wall over here, so I was looking for the silhouettes as they were coming around, and then I almost got snagged by this hunger bot. Problem is, like with me, I kind of just kept running, and if you keep running towards this wall, it'll auto-dodge for you because of the way that hunger bots work, which is kind of unfortunate. It's really hard to use Stairmasters, though, on, you know, their skull eyeball thing, that specialization that you were using. Alright, Pete Poundmore, Bone Puppeteer. Alright, so this is all fine. I'm just kind of killing everything pretty quick because I'm 2 levels over you now and I have really good gear. Although regular Cyclopses will probably get one-shot volleyed, or like one-shot volley plus 1 basic attack or something like that for most people. That's why recently I've switched around my Cyclopses back to charge, even though I don't use them all that much in my castle. A little bit though. I think they just have more utility until you get up to the higher level rank 7 or whatever. Just because, I mean, I was using them as a main unit for a while, but I was realizing people were getting through my castle just because they could kill them pretty quickly. And, you know, they're reasonably easy to dodge until you get up to the higher levels. Then they add a lot more range to it. Alright, and then the boss room, pretty good time waster. You notice with me with my OP gear, how much do I have? I have about a minute left. So you're kind of right on that edge where people your level will probably be right around the edge of getting through and not getting through. Most likely because of my gear. As long as they don't have like crazy OP gear, they shouldn't be able to get through at your level. Probably around, you know, 25, 26 we'll be able to get through without too much of a problem. There's not that much that you can do about that. You can switch around some of your groups to have more elites and less trash mobs like Cyclopses and stuff like that, so it takes a little bit longer for them to kill them. And you know, crabs aren't amazing units in general either. Like a crab will take almost a fixed amount of time based on DPS and his armor. Like it's almost a fixed amount. Whereas Mega Muttons or something, if you get a charge off and it hits, or if you have to dodge multiple charges or something like that, it has more of a, like, you know, based on the player and the DPS and stuff, it'll take a scaling amount of time, or not really scaling, like a snowballing amount of time, right? If you have a healer and a Mega Mutton and you damage the Mega Mutton where he's charging, it'll take someone with low DPS a lot longer than it would take him to kill off a crab. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. So that's number 3. We'll end the video here. If you guys enjoy what I do, please subscribe. You know, if you want to be a part of your castles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. Comment on my castle, comment on my video. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.